Alright guys, welcome back to another classic Savimi CS video. Today we're going to be ranking all the Glock skins in CS2. Got them all lined up here. Let's get started. First up, the Dragon Tattoo. Classic skin, right? Super old head skin from the Arms Deal collection. Very sleek, blank canvas. I'm personally a Dragon Tattoo enjoyer. Classic Dragon, obviously, tattoo design. I like this skin. I think it deserves to be an A tier. I'm currently rocking one of these. Great skin, classic skin. Up next, we have the Glock Fade. This is the definition of the flex Glock, right? If you have one of these, you got a big boy inventory, $1,400, $1,300 for one of these things. It's just a flex skin. Don't get me wrong, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Beautiful skin, especially holding it in game. It looks so good. I dream of having one of these one day. Can't justify spending $1,400 on a Glock right now, but maybe someday. Fade, S tier. Up next, we have the Glock 18 Brass. I know that this skin has recently gained a little bit of popularity going into CS2 because it does look a little bit better. However, I think it looks disgusting. I think it looks like throw up. I think it looks like puke. I'm not a big fan. But honestly, I just wish it was a gold brick instead. It's gross. It's almost green. It's a gross green color. Brass, F tier. Up next, we have the Sand Dune. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think this is such a beautiful looking Glock. And in CS2, they have that new, matte kind of pastel finish to them. It looks so clean, especially holding it in game. It just looks absolutely phenomenal. Very expensive and factory new. You wouldn't think they'd be that expensive. The cheapest one on any marketplace right now is $119. And that's on buff, which, Westerners can't use anymore. Sand Dune, A tier. Up next, we have the Glock Candy Apple from the Italy collection. Very old skin here, right? Been in the game since forever, since 2013. This kind of gives me nostalgic vibes. It's still, a classic skin. I do enjoy skins that are just a blank color, a blank canvas. Any red sticker thrown on this Candy Apple looks great. Great looking craft. You can get a little, unique, little exotic maybe. But again, Astralis sticker, Hellraiser sticker, anything. Boom. Great craft. Candy Apple, B tier. Up next, we have the Groundwater from the Mirage collection, another skin that's been in the game for a very long time. 2014 was when it was initially released. This does have the same kind of matte pastel finish that the Sand Dune has. I don't think it looks nearly as good as the Sand Dune does, but I do like the green. It looks much better in game than it does right here on the inspect screen. Groundwater, B tier. Up next, we have the Blue Fisher from the Weapons Case 3. I hate this skin. I don't know why I hate it. I think it's the gross lines. It doesn't look, it looks dirty. It looks gross. It looks battle scarred even in factory new. Blue Fisher, F tier. Death Rattle. It's not even possible to get this thing in factory new. It's float cap to minimal wear and it's 6 cents for a reason. One of the worst skins in the game. The default Glock is better. The Water Elemental from the Breakout collection. Butterfly knife case. W case. Great skin. Very cool. Classic art. I don't know why, but back in the day, I feel like this was the step below the Fade, right? This was kind of another Glock flex skin back in the day, a high tier Glock back in the day. For nostalgia's sake, and because it's kind of held the test of time, I'm gonna go B tier. Next up, we have the Knight, another one of those pastel matte finish skins. This one just looks phenomenal. Almost as good as the Sand Dune. A little bit worse in my opinion. I like the Knight finish on any weapon and on all the knives. It looks really great, especially here on the Glock. You can also get it on the Deagle. Knight going in A tier. Next up, the Steel Distribution, another old skin. Definitely got a huge buff going into CS2 with this new metallic finish. I think it looks way better than it used to. I honestly think this might be I think it's going to be our first C tier. It's nothing crazy. It's just kind of a plain Glock. I would like it better if it was just straight silver instead of having that camo. Up next, the Glock Reactor. Kind of a mid skin, kind of underwhelming. It is an older skin from the Cash collection, right? But it is pattern based and you can get some really cool patterns where all these nuclear symbols line up straight across the weapon here and you get like a teeth pattern. So that definitely gives it a boost. And it's orange. I'm an orange enjoyer. I'm going C tier. Up next, Glock Grinder. Very cool skin. Pattern based as well. Most skins are going to have this spiral somewhere on them. That's just kind of the pattern template. But as you can see on the backside here, there's this spot of black. It is possible to get a max black Glock Grinder. So this whole section is just straight black. Very cool for pattern based. I don't think it looks the best. I think I'm going to throw it at the top of C tier. Now onto the Glock Catacombs. Very cool skin. I like the skulls. They are pattern based as well. As you can see, the skulls look different. There's different types, sizes, shapes of skulls. This one has fangs here. So again, another pattern based Glock, 3 in a row. Lucky number. I'm going A tier with the Catacombs. Up next, we have the Twilight Galaxy. Beautiful looking Glock. I honestly have to say, you'll never hear me say this, or at least I won't say it very often. The Twilight Galaxy looked better in CSGO than it does in CS2. It was more teal. It was more of a lighter teal in CSGO, I feel, than this, beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful dark blue. Beautiful sparkly dark blue. It's kind of like candy paint on a car. If you're from Texas, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going bottom of A tier for the Twilight Galaxy. Up next, the Bunsen burner. This teal here on the back is what I think the Twilight Galaxy was more like in CSGO. The color of the Twilight Galaxy was more like this teal, and I'm a bigger fan of this teal color. Don't get me wrong, budget banger Glock. I had one of these back in the day. This might have been one of my first Glocks. Super affordable, budget Twilight Galaxy. It's going in the middle of B tier. Up next, we have the Red Tire, a new-ish Glock released back in 2021 as part of the Vertigo collection. It is pattern-based. As you can see, it says Rush right here. You can get a little B symbol here, so it's a Rush B, but it looks awful. It's a horrendous-looking skin. It's going to be our second skin going in default better category. Up next, we have the Royal Legion. I do like orange. I'm going to meat ride this skin a little bit, even though objectively it might not be the best-looking skin, but with some Tiger Strike gloves, whew. It is heat with some foundation gloves. Absolute heat. Royal Legion, C tier. Wasteland Rebels up next. I'm not a huge fan of this thing. I don't know why. I think I have a preconception in my head that if you use this skin, you want to be edgy, kill them all. Like, shut up, dude. Grow up. Grow up, please. Not the worst skin in the game. I'll try my hardest to not be, super biased, but F tier for sure. Up next, the Weasel. I do actually like the art. I know it's kind of basic, and I'm not the biggest fan of animal skins, but it is pretty art. You got to be honest. The flowers in the background, nice little weasel guy on there. And if you want to be silly, if you play with a group of friends, you can nickname your Glock Weasel one of your friends' names. That way, you call him a weasel. Glock Weasel going in C tier. Up next, the Ironworks. Now, what I really love about this skin is there's a lot of skins that have engravings, right, in CS2. A lot of skins that have engravings. This skin, instead of having the pattern engraved into the finish of a skin, the pattern is left untouched and the background is engraved. I think that's a really cool, very unique texture. It leaves us with this very beautiful design. I mean, look at the top of that thing. It's beautiful. I like the Ironworks. It's budget, right? It's affordable. It's going in B tier. Up next, the Off-World. I hate it so much. Why is it battle scarred? It's like futuristic but battle scarred. I don't know. Maybe it's not my vibe. Maybe it's like Fallout vibes. Maybe it does give me Fallout vibes. The blue and like the orange, blue and the yellow. I don't like it. I don't like it. F tier. Up next, Glock Moonrise. Beautiful skin. Mwah, mwah. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss to this skin. Pattern based, beautiful finish. Purple's a nice color. I know a lot of people are getting into the purple inventory. It's kind of overdone nowadays, but you got to be honest, it's a beautiful Glock skin. If you didn't know, there are a couple rare patterns where you can get a little star on the safety right here. A little star. I don't know if that's actually the safety. Beautiful, very cool. The moon and the buildings can move depending on the patterns you get. Sometimes the moon's over here, sometimes it's over here, sometimes the moon's barely on there, but only a handful of patterns get a little star just right here. If you can picture like a slideshow moving across the gun, the star is always down here on the black area, and on certain patterns it appears right here for a brief moment. Look for the North Star. Look at that in the description. Look for the North Star. Beautiful skin. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Top of A tier. Top of A tier. Up next, the Glock Warhawk. Again, not my thing. I know some people like the whole like American World War II fighter plane style, tiger mouth, I don't know what to call it, on skins, but I think this handle is just so off-putting. It's so nasty. Look at that. It's disgusting. Not the worst skin I've ever seen. I think middle of F tier is where it belongs. Up next, we have the Nuclear Garden. I actually am an enjoyer of this skin. I like the toxic vibe it brings, right? You can a neon green, neon yellow, and for some reason I don't get highlighter kid vibes from this. I get actual nuclear waste vibes, which I like, from the Nuke collection, Nuclear Garden. I like the skin. It is pattern based as well. It's going in B tier. Up next, we have the Glock High Beam. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I absolutely adore this skin. I think it's so beautiful. Those two shades of blue complement each other so nicely, and it is pattern-based. This little spiral on the weapon can be bigger, it can be smaller. You can get one where the whole thing's a spiral. You can get ones that are just this darker blue. Very cool skin. Might get some hate for this, but it's going in A tier. Up next, the Oxide Blaze. I don't need to say anything about this skin. It's disgusting. It's awful. It's the worst skin in the game. On any weapon, across all guns, the Oxide Blaze finishes is the worst. Bottom of default better category. Up next, the Sacrifice. Not the coolest art, right? I feel like nobody really uses this Glock, but it's so cool. Shouting out Olaf Meister. If you guys know the famous play on Overpass from ESO1 Cologne 2014, Olaf Meister stood in a molly while defusing the bomb and barely defused it before dying. Such a cool skin to clutch around. Crucial moment in a game. Look at this in the description. This custom paint job pays homage to Olaf Meister's burning defuse on Overpass at ESL1 Cologne 2014. Amazing. The lore behind this skin, very cool. Looks wise, C tier. Lore wise, S tier. Up next, we have this Synth Leaf from the St. Mark collection. This thing is incredibly expensive. It's around $300 in factory new, and the only reason it's that expensive is because it's a trade up, obviously, from the St. Mark collection, right? So you know what it trades up to. The Wild Lotus. God, it's awful. I hate it. It's such a disgusting Glock. Overrated. It's just trade up fodder, and it deserves to be trade up fodder. F tier. Up next, the Bullet Queen. I really didn't like this skin back in the day. I didn't give it a chance ever, to be fair, but when I made my yellow inventory video, it really grew on me. That white, yellow, and black, they're so crisp. It's such a crisp looking skin. I really like the way the colors pop, very vibrant. The colors mesh together very perfectly. Look at that in hand. Little star on the back right there. Very cool skin. I'm throwing it in an A tier. Now for the Vogue. I'm not a huge fan of this skin. I know it's like Miami vibes. What does it say? Look at me. Cringe. Homelander reference, though. This skin is the reason why blue-eyed people get a bad rap. You see, like, this girl on here, she's just looking. She's just looking forward. And you know how people say people with blue eyes, like, when they stare at you, it's like they're staring into your soul and they complain all the time and stuff? This skin is the reason people think that way. Look at this. Creepy eyes. I don't like it. F tier. Now the Neo Noir. What a beautiful piece of art. Girlfriend on the gun. Beautiful girlfriend on the gun. Beautiful colors. Almost like a better Miami vibe. Honestly, it's like synthwave vibe, obviously. And you know, I really like those lines. Can you guys see the texture in the white here? Beautiful texture. Just a flawless skin. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Definitely going in A tier. Next up, we have the Franklin. You know, I'm not a huge fan of money skins. Never been a huge fan of skins that are just money on any game. I know COD used to do it back in the day. But, you know, old Benny boy, Benjamin Franklin. God bless him. American hero. American legend. $100 bill. America. So for America, C tier. Every other reason, I don't like it. Now for the clear polymer. This skin had a lot of potential. Maybe if it came out in CS2 instead of CSGO, it could have been done better. And I guess it is technically holographic, as you can see as I move it. Kind of goes from like a salmon color to an orange to a brass to a brown. Kind of a cool color. The blue is very vibrant. The blue is apparent. But I hate the handle. I don't like it. And the bullets don't move when you shoot. F tier. Up next, the Gamma Doppler. I love it. It's just as good as it is on the knives, obviously. You have all 4 phases plus the emerald, right? And this is an emerald, obviously. It's just absolutely stunning. It's breathtaking. It's beautiful. It's the best pistol in the game. No skin on any pistol looks better than the emerald does on the Glock. Just beautiful. A classic finish on a classic weapon. S tier. Second S tier of the list. Now for the Snack Attack. Now some people might not agree with me here. I'd like to say first that I hate it. I don't like it at all. I don't like the little guys. They make me uncomfortable. It's a gross skin. It doesn't look finished. It looks sloppy, right? Like what's going on up here? Why does it look like unfinished? It looks untextured, like it hasn't loaded in yet. Like my computer's a potato or something like that. But it's goofy. You know, I have a buddy who doesn't really have any interest in skins, but he loves this skin just because it's a little goofy. All right? And I kind of have an appreciation for it. It makes you open your eyes sometimes. That art's subjective. F tier. Up next, the pink DD Pat. Op did it better, but pink Glock, very cool. I am a fan of like the urban camo. It's alright. It's an alright skin. We're gonna go B tier. Up next, the Winterized. Very interesting skin. Very interesting texture. It's got words up here. Not a lot of skins do that. Interesting colors. Interesting pattern. The handle looks very grippy. Little finger rest right here for your pointer finger to have some grip as well. It's interesting. I have a person in my Discord server. I'm not going to call you out by name, but this is his favorite skin in the entire game, and I appreciate him for being unique. I appreciate him for being honest, but I'm going to have to go right there. I'm sorry. Up next, the Wraiths, or Wraiths? Wraiths. Very interesting skin. Very interesting, right, engravings, pattern. These little green accents, I think, fit surprisingly well. Like, very well. They contrast the vibe of these, you know, Wraiths all doing Wraith things. Very interesting skin. Kind of looks gross down here. It's my only gripe. It looks gross, even in Factory New down there. I'm going to go B tier for the Wraiths. Up next, the Umbral Rabbit. A beautiful skin. It's a piece of art. This should be a painting. I'm gonna commission somebody. If you're an artist, if you're a painter, please comment down in the description if you can paint this for me. I'll commission you to paint this. It's a beautiful piece of art. Wow. I love the colors. I love the little bunny. Albino bunny. He's got a little red eye. But beautiful clouds and stuff. Kind of reminds me of like Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes. Lotus flowers. Beautiful skin. Beautiful skin. Definitely A tier. Up next, Ramses Reach. Interesting Glock. Anubis themes. I think that's Ramses right there. I don't know if he was a pharaoh or if he's like some sort of god, Egyptian god. Please tell me in the comment section if you know what he is. Cool hieroglyphs on top. Very interesting skin. Very unique skin. It almost looks like it's textured, but it's not, even though the hieroglyphs technically are. Interesting colors. I like the beautiful Egyptian plains, like the Nile River, right? The pyramid in the background there. I like the fact that you can do kind of an Egyptian theme. That might be a video in the future. Egypt-themed inventory. B tier. And last but not least, the newest Glock in the game, the Block 18. I want to like this thing. I really want to. You know, Legos are cool, but it just looks so deformed. Look at the back of that. Come on. I don't know. I don't know how to make skins, so I can't hate that much. Very cool concept, but I just don't like it. It looks cursed to me. You know the word for when something's not human, but it kind of looks human? Uncanny Valley. That's what this Block 18 is to me. It's Uncanny Valley Legos. C tier. So that's the final list, guys. I think I gave everything an honest chance. I'm happy with the way the list turned out. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. I am going to be giving away an AK-47 Inheritance in minimal wear condition once we hit 1,000 subscribers here on my YouTube channel. Please make sure to subscribe to be entered into the giveaway and join my Discord server down below to make sure you can see who the winner is. But that's it, guys. Thank you.